Oh, so get this. Today we're going deep into AI.
Right.
But not just any AI. We're talking about the
Mhm.
kind that really makes you wonder, like, what's even real anymore?
Yeah.
All those deepfakes we've seen online. Well, you sent in some articles about this new AI model
Hmm.
called OmniHuman 1.
Right.
And well, let me tell you, it takes things to a whole other level.
It really does. It's true.
Yeah.
What's so crazy about OmniHuman 1 is how little it needs to make a video of someone that you would totally believe is real.
Right.
Like, older models needed a ton of images to even get close.
Yeah.
But this one just needs one picture.
It's mind-blowing.
It is mind-blowing.
But also, like, kind of scary when you really think about it.
For sure.
So this article from the Economic Times, it says that ByteDance,
Oh, wow.
the company behind TikTok, they're the ones behind this new AI.
Interesting.
And they unveiled it pretty quietly. But the implications, I mean, they're huge.
Yeah.
Just imagine, like, creating a video of any, like a historical figure, or even, like, a celebrity
Oh, yeah.
saying and doing whatever you want, all from just one picture.
That's exactly what makes this technology so groundbreaking, but also potentially dangerous.
Sure.
I mean, we've already seen how AI-generated content can be used to spread misinformation and manipulate, public opinion. But this is just
A whole new level.
a whole new level of realism.
Yeah. And the article highlights how OmniHuman 1 was trained on something like over 18,000 hours of video,
Oh,
which is basically like watching movies nonstop for over 2 years.
that's insane.
Right? Yeah.
It's that crazy amount of data that allows it to generate such lifelike movements and facial expressions. It's really incredible.
And it can even create videos in any aspect ratio.
Exactly.
Which means it could, fit seamlessly into any kind of video format.
Yeah, yeah.
Hold on, aspect ratio.
Oh, right, sorry.
Can you break that down for me?
Sure.
And, for anyone listening who might not be super familiar with that term.
Of course. Yeah. So aspect ratio is basically just the proportional relationship between the width and height of an image or video.
Okay.
So think of it like the dimensions of a movie screen.
I see.
So the fact that this AI can create videos in any aspect ratio, well, that just makes them that much more convincing
Right.
because it can be tailored to fit perfectly into any context.
So it could literally be used to create a fake video that would be almost impossible to tell apart from a real one.
Exactly. And that's what's so concerning.
That's both fascinating and really terrifying.
It really is.
Yeah. And the article even quotes an AI expert, Henry Adger,
Oh, yeah.
who warns about how easy it would be to create deepfakes with this technology.
Right.
He says, and I quote, "If this technology is widely available, it will make it easier than ever to create fake videos for deceptive purposes."
And that's a chilling thought.
It is very chilling.
Because it brings to light the very real potential for things like political disinformation campaigns,
Right.
identity theft, even blackmail. It's scary stuff.
Yeah. And the article mentions a case where, get this, an AI-generated voice of President Biden
Oh, wow.
was used to discourage people from voting.
You're kidding?
I know. It seems like we're already seeing these kinds of tactics being used out there.
That's a prime example of how this technology can be weaponized,
Yeah.
Used for malicious purposes.
It's scary stuff.
It is, and it really raises the question, how do we even protect ourselves in a world where seeing is no longer believing?
That's a good question.
How do we safeguard our democratic processes, and how do we ensure the integrity of information when we're constantly facing these advanced manipulation techniques?
It's a big question.
It is a huge question, and it's one that policymakers and tech companies need to be thinking about, like, right now.
Yeah, they need to grapple with this.
Yeah,
And quickly.
absolutely, before it's too late.
It is a scary thought. But this article isn't all doom and gloom.
Right.
It does talk about, like, some positive uses for this technology, too.
That's true.
I mean, if we can use AI to make these, like, super realistic fakes,
Yeah.
can't we also use it, for good?
Exactly. The potential benefits are just as remarkable as the risks.
Okay, so what kind of benefits are we talking about?
Well, think about education, for example.
Okay.
Imagine if students could interact with virtual versions of historical figures,
Whoa.
have actual conversations and learn directly from them.
That would be incredible.
Right. History could actually come alive in a way we've never even seen before.
Yeah.
It wouldn't just be like dates and facts in a textbook.
Right?
It would be like stepping into a time machine
Oh, wow.
and actually experiencing the past firsthand.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
History would be so much more engaging.
Exactly.
Less boring, for sure.
And think about the entertainment industry.
Okay, yeah.
We could see incredibly immersive storytelling,
Mm-hmm.
with digital actors portraying characters in ways that were just impossible before.
Right.
It could revolutionize filmmaking
Yeah.
and open up totally new avenues for creative expression.
Okay, that does have me feeling, well, a bit less freaked out.
Good.
But the article also brought up something else that's kind of concerning.
Oh, wow. What's that?
The fact that the U.S. might be falling behind China in AI development.
Right. That's a crucial point to consider.
Yeah, it feels important.
The development of this kind of advanced AI tech, like OmniHuman 1,
Yeah.
it's quickly becoming like a key area of competition between nations.
It's not just about the technology itself.
No, it's not.
It's about, who controls the narrative.
Exactly.
Who shapes the future of information.
Right.
And ultimately who holds the power, right?
Exactly, especially in a world that's becoming more and more reliant on AI.
So it's not just about making cool videos.
No,
It's about global power and influence.
it really is.
The article mentioned that the U.S. has put a lot of money into AI, but they still might be behind China in some areas.
Right, and that raises concerns about a potential AI arms race,
Oh, wow.
with each country trying to develop, more powerful and sophisticated AI systems than the other.
That's kind of scary.
It is, and it really highlights the need for international collaboration and ethical guidelines for AI development,
Right.
We need to make sure that this technology is being developed and used responsibly
For everyone's benefit.
for the benefit of all humanity, yeah.
Not just as a tool for division and conflict.
Exactly.
And speaking of responsibility, the article also mentioned something that kind of set off alarm bells for me.
What was that?
The lack of transparency from ByteDance about the data they used to train OmniHuman 1.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't that seem, I don't know, a little suspicious?
Well, transparency is absolutely essential when we're talking about AI development,
Right.
especially with a technology as powerful as this. Understanding the data that's used to train these models helps us,
Yeah.
assess potential biases, ethical concerns, and the overall trustworthiness of the AI.
Okay, I get that.
So the lack of transparency from ByteDance, it does raise some red flags.
Yeah, for sure.
And it definitely fuels speculation, especially given the current geopolitical climate.
I understand we need to be cautious.
Right.
And not jump to conclusions.
Well, of course.
But this whole thing, it feels like, I don't know, like we're stepping into uncharted territory.
It does, doesn't it?
So where do we go from here?
Good question.
Is OmniHuman 1 a step towards a brighter future or a descent into some, dystopian nightmare?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
I think the truth is it's probably a bit of both. OmniHuman 1 represents this incredibly powerful tool with immense potential for good and for bad.
Right.
It could revolutionize industries,
Yeah.
connect people in new ways, even help us solve some of the world's most complex problems.
Right.
But it also carries the risk of being used for manipulation, for deception, and for the further erosion of trust
Yeah.
in a world where information is already so fractured.
It's a tough situation.
It is. We're at a crossroads.
Yeah.
And the choices we make today are going to determine the path we take.
It feels like a lot is riding on this.
It really does.
It really does feel like, I don't know, like we're right on the edge of something huge here.
It does.
Both exciting and terrifying,
I agree.
But this deep dive has really helped me.
Good.
I have a much better understanding now of what's really at stake here.
That's great to hear.
So I'm wondering, what can we actually do to make sure this technology is actually used responsibly?
That's the challenge, isn't
It feels like a big one.
It is, and it requires a multifaceted approach, We need to tackle this from multiple angles.
Okay, so what are some of those angles?
Well, on the one hand, you have developers working on new detection tools that can analyze AI-generated content
Okay.
and look for those subtle cues, those inconsistencies that might, reveal its artificial origin.
So fighting fire with fire,
Yeah.
using AI to detect AI.
In a way, yes, but it's also about empowering people to become more discerning consumers of information.
What do you mean?
Well, we need to promote media literacy and critical thinking skills so people can actually evaluate sources and identify those potential fakes,
So it sounds like education is going to be really key here.
Absolutely crucial.
We need to teach people, how to navigate this new digital landscape
Yeah.
and arm them with the tools to figure out what's real and what's not.
Exactly. And it's not just about individual responsibility either.
Okay, so what else?
It really requires a collective effort. We need collaboration between tech companies, researchers, policymakers, and educators.
Wow, that's a lot of people.
It is, but we need all hands on deck here.
To do what specifically?
To develop those robust detection methods, promote those ethical guidelines,
Right.
and foster that culture of critical thinking and responsible AI use.
It sounds like a huge undertaking.
It is a massive undertaking.
But it sounds like it's absolutely essential.
I think it is.
If we want to actually harness the power of AI for good,
Yeah.
while also mitigating those potential risks. Right.
Absolutely. Finding that balance is key.
This has been an incredible deep dive.
Oh, I'm glad you think so.
Full of fascinating insights and really thought-provoking discussions.
Well, that's what we aim for.
But before we wrap up,
Sure.
there's one more thing I'm curious about.
Okay, what's that?
If this technology keeps advancing, at this pace, what can we expect to see in the future?
Ooh, that's a great question.
It's kind of hard to even imagine.
It is, right. But as AI continues to evolve, we can definitely anticipate even more groundbreaking developments.
Like what? Give me some examples.
Well, imagine AI systems that can not only create realistic videos,
Yeah?
but also compose music,
No way?
write novels, even design buildings,
Whoa, that's
and maybe even develop completely new scientific theories.
It's mind-boggling.
It is. The possibilities really are endless.
It's both exciting and, I don't know, a little bit daunting.
It's understandable to feel that way.
To think about what the future might hold.
But remember, the future isn't set in stone,
True.
It's shaped by the choices that we make today.
Right, that's a good point.
So by staying informed, by engaging in these thoughtful discussions,
Yeah.
and actively participating in shaping the future of AI, we can help make sure that it really does serve humanity's best interests.
I like that. Well said.
Thank you.
This deep dive has been, well, eye-opening, to say the least.
I'm glad.
I'm going to be thinking about this for a long time.
That's the goal. Keep asking those questions.
I will.
Stay curious and never stop learning.
That's good advice.
There's a whole world of knowledge out there just waiting to be explored.
Thanks for guiding me through this one.
Of course. It was my pleasure.
It's definitely given me a lot to think about.
Good, good.
Until next time.
Sounds good.